It is possible to help children connect to their soul and their divine protection. Many hypersensitive children have anxiety just thinking about getting separated from us, whether it's going to school or sleepover, and or just the thought of being in an unfamiliar situation. So here are 4 simple and proven tips given from my guides to help empower children and give them a sense of peace. So this is video 4 of the Invisible Accessible series, and here we go. So for those who don't know me, I'm a mom. I have a 10-year-old daughter, and she is sensitive, and she's has separation anxiety still at 10-year-old. And so the tips I'm sharing with you today are proven tips. I tried them on her and it works, and I hope it can work on your children. I'm sure it will. So my first 2 tips are more practical, and the 2 last ones are more spiritual. So the first tip is the magical golden thread. So what you tell your child, or it doesn't have to be yours, just a child that you're taking care of, is that before there is the separation, you explain that between their heart and your heart, there is a magical golden string. It is unbreakable, it's always there, and no matter how far you are from each other, it will never break. It's always super strong, super luminous, and every time the child thinks about you, he can feel all the love between your 2 hearts, between your 2 souls. He can feel your hugs, your kisses, and that's very, very reassuring. The second tip is a kiss object. So it can work with a plush toy, a figurine, a hairband, a bracelet. I did it with my daughter with bracelets and hairbands because it's easy to bring to school. And it goes unnoticed, so it's like a little secret that they have with you. What you do is that you give that object a ton of kisses. And when I say a ton, sometimes my daughter would go, "You need to give it 100 kisses." So I would go 100 times, kiss the object. And so that's their kiss object that they can bring around when they are separated from you. And every time they miss you, they can take the object, put it on their cheek. It's like receiving kisses from you, and they can feel your love and your kisses. Now, the third tip is nightly visits on the astral plane. So that's when I told you that it's getting spiritual. Now, this tip is very important for you to adapt it to the age of your child and also to their level of comprehension of the spiritual world, or whether or not some children are not into spirituality. That's very, very fine. So please adapt it so the child is comfortable. What I do, it's extremely popular around here. We do it almost every night at the request of my daughter. But first, let me explain what's going on during nighttime when we sleep. So when we sleep, we recharge our batteries. Physically, we need to recharge. We need energies, and we use sleep to recharge our batteries on the physical level. Now, on the spiritual level, on the soul level, we also need to recharge. So in the deepest phase of sleep, what happens is that the soul goes to the astral plane. It's still connected to our bodies, but it visits the astral plane, and it's a way for the soul to recharge, to connect to the source, to meet with some guides, and to meet with soul family members. Now, what you can do with your child, I'm going to give you the example of what I do with my daughter Rosalie. And Rosalie is really into everything that is afterlife, astral plane. So I explained it to her like I would to an adult, but of course use another language, or other images, or inspire yourself with cartoons if you wish. So what I do with Rosalie, who's aware of all of that, is that we take our hands and we look into each other's eyes and we say, okay, tonight we make the promise that our souls will meet. And when the promise is made by both parties, and both parties do this promise in a benevolent way that is in the highest interest of both parties, it is always honored. So what happens there, we don't know because we do not remember, but it's always heard by the souls, by the two souls, and it is always honored. Of course, my daughter, I know she's an old soul, so once she's out of her body, she's probably super confident and doesn't need me, but we meet, maybe it's just 2 seconds of hello, we met, you're okay, and we go do other stuff. Maybe we chat about the goals that we have, the karma we need to balance in this life, but we have also other people to meet, we need to recharge. But whether the meeting is 2 seconds or 2 minutes, it always happens. Now, the fourth tip is the shield of light or the benevolent cactus. The shield of light, you might have heard of it before because many adults do it frequently. I do it in my work. For children or just people in general who are overwhelmed by emotions, who are hypersensitive, overwhelmed by the emotions of others, when you identify a lot to others, or just children who are afraid of strangers or even ghosts, monsters, that's super useful. So what you tell your child is to imagine a ball of light close to their heart, in their chest. It's always there. It's always there. And when they need it, they can ask for the light shield to go out in a second. Now, if you want to use the imagery of shields like in Marvel movies and Black Panther, when they put the shields out like whew, just in a second, please do that. If it resonates with your child, it's going to be great. So you explain that every time your child needs to be protected, maybe at school in the schoolyard, there are kids who are mean, or they watch a movie and they can feel what the character is feeling, and they start to feel that, okay, I'm going to get way too emotional over this. Boom, you pull out the light shield, and that shield, what it does is that every negative actions towards you, or emotions that aren't yours, that shouldn't enter into your bubble, it just goes boom, like a tennis ball, like it cannot enter. So the second one is similar. It's the benevolent cactus. It's an image that my guide sent me recently that made me laugh a lot. So for children, you can tell them, imagine that you are a cactus and that your thorns, you have light thorns. And those luminous thorns are there to protect you all the time. It's magical. Other people cannot see them, but they are there. So if children are mean to you, they cannot affect you. It cannot affect you, because the thorns reject everything that is negative, every emotion that is not yours. And this cactus is very intelligent, because nice children, your friends, they find a way between the thorns, and they can come and help you and love you and hug you. So you are protected, but you are able to let in people that you like and that you love. So those were my 4 tips. I really hope it can help you out. It sure helped me and my daughter. It still does. We're still doing the nightly visits on the astral plane. It's really, really fun. And please let me know in the comments or in DM if you have other tips that you use and how it works with your children. Thank you. Bye bye.